having a boyfriend embarrassing? I wasn't going to make this video, but this has gone crazy viral. I thought I have to kind of give my 2 pence. This is an unscripted video. I normally have some notes and some structure, but I'm just going to sit and waffle and share what I think about this topic. I've been speaking to some of my friends about this topic, about having a boyfriend is embarrassing, and we're all on the same page that obviously, no, it's not. Like, it's not embarrassing to have a boyfriend. However, a boyfriend that forgets small details about you, or doesn't plan dates, or doesn't make an effort when he's meeting your friends and family, doesn't make an effort to make the partnership that you guys have feel special or feel important, that is embarrassing. And what's scary is I feel like this is kind of on the rise. It's why I'm sure this article has gotten so much attention. Like, this topic of men being embarrassing is not out of the blue. Like, there is substance and evidence and many men to back it up, to be like, yeah, it kind of is a thing. For context, I was literally speaking to someone the other day about her partner who she's been with for many years. This is a partner that has a job, you know, she's the higher earner in the relationship. She drove him to work a couple times because he doesn't drive. He doesn't really cook or clean around the house. She cooks and cleans. He doesn't really do much in terms of family wise, like whenever there's a birthday or Christmas or anything, like she's the one getting everyone together. And my friend was kind of like, okay, so why are you still together? And she was just kind of like, she couldn't give a reason. If we're being brutally honest, I feel like in the modern day, a lot of women have high expectations of men, and a lot of men don't really have high expectations of women. I think it makes perfect sense that in the modern day, a woman that's educated or has a good job, knows how to drive, invests her money, is smart, reads books, like has things going for her, it makes perfect sense that you'd ask for a partner that is on the same level as you. I think a lot of men on the internet like to have this like stereotype caricature of a woman that is aggressively average, but somehow, some way wants a 6-foot guy that earns 6 figures and is, you know, the top 1% guy. Or, you know, they throw, I see this statistic thrown around a lot on TikTok of like, oh, you know, 80% of women go for 20% of men. And it's just like, whenever I talk to my single friends about, you know, what like we look for or what we'd like in a relationship, it's never we're looking for a partner that is, you know, extremely well off or extremely successful or someone that we can go on yachts with. It's never like this stereotypical stuff. It's always like the bare minimum. Oh, I just like someone that opens doors, or someone that like has, you know, puts in effort, thinks about things, plans dates, remember small details about you, remember your favorite like books, genres, places to eat, recipes. And I'm saying it's the bare minimum, but like any woman that spent a few weeks on Hinge, like you'll know that it's not the bare minimum. This is rare. Like, it doesn't come by very often. We all know, we can all agree, being in a relationship is not a flex. Being in a healthy, committed, mutually efforted, equal relationship is a flex. That is rare. It feels a little bit embarrassing in the modern day, I'm not gonna lie, to like admit I want a boyfriend. Or it feels embarrassing to admit I want a girlfriend. And oftentimes when I'm talking to my friends about this, a lot of my friends aren't even single anymore. I feel like I'm one of the only few single friends. Yeah, oh yeah, I am. Wait, hold on. Do I have a friend that's single now? When I do have conversations with friends that are single and we're like talking about this, I'm always so grateful that I can be honest and say like, yeah, I set myself the goal in 2025 to get a boyfriend. And look, here I am. We're nearly in December and I'm still single. Like, it's quite freeing to know that I can be honest about the fact that I'm deeply human and I would like companionship in my life. I know there's this rhetoric online that women are too independent now, too feminist, too hyper independent. I don't think that was out of choice, I'll be honest. I think a lot of women feel like that's just the only option that they had left. My mum's a single mum and she's literally Wonder Woman. And she often tells me like when she just became a single mum, like freshly divorced, she had to just, there was no option to like, I don't know, like she was literally divorced, like she had to raise me by herself. And even if you're not a single mum, say you're someone that can't really depend on your family, or you don't have many friends, you don't have a partner, as a woman you just feel like you have to crack on with things. And don't get me wrong, you can be a guy and be in the same boat as well. Maybe your family have neglected you, or maybe you're a single dad, or maybe you don't have anyone to depend on. But it seems like we're seeing it more in women nowadays. And this is where the unscriptedness of the video I feel like is really showing, because I wish I had like statistics to back up my point, but hopefully you guys can see what I mean. I think the hyper independence of women nowadays is like hyper visible online. Like we really see women being independent, whereas independent and man in the same sentence feels a bit unusual. Like we don't really say that about men, that they're independent. Maybe it's because they're just expected to be independent. Like that is what a man does, quote unquote. But then I also feel like there's like this subculture like amongst women where you feel like you almost have to help everyone else. Like if a woman seemed like she was struggling, if a man seemed like he was struggling, you would just naturally, you know, get up and help. Versus as a woman, if you're struggling, you're a lot of the time your natural inclination is just to suffer in silence. Like, don't complain, don't explain, like just crack on. Maybe as a guy you feel the same, but I'm just speaking from a woman's perspective. I feel like the reason why so many of us are this hyper independent woman now is because like you just feel like you can't ask for help, or it's weird to ask for help. Whereas I think something good that men do is they are like unapologetic about asking for help, or asking for things, asking for a referral, asking for to sell something. Like men will just ask, men will just do. Whereas I feel like women, we're such like, let me ask permission, let me just double check, let me check I'm qualified. Maybe you've been seeing this article go viral. Maybe you agree with it, maybe you don't. Maybe you think men are embarrassing, maybe you don't. Either way, I think the extent of the virality of this post just shows how big of a conversation it is that women expect more from men. What I find interesting is that women nowadays, let's be for real, women expect more from men, whereas men don't expect more from women, which I find so interesting. I feel like there's a huge expectation gap between like men, like women are looking for this, whereas men will kind of like, they'll settle for that. The idea of settling amongst women, like I know if I brought up the idea of settling, if I mentioned to all my friends, guys, I'm thinking of settling, like, let me just settle for a guy, they would all immediately be like, Christina, what the hell are you doing? Like, stand up, don't do that. Who do you think you are? They would slap me across the face. If I was a guy, would that happen though? If I said, I'm just going to settle for this girl, I'm just going to go for this girl, she's not what I would want, she's less than what I would be looking for, but I'm just going to go for her. Like, what would the response be? I literally don't know. Men can't fathom the fact that women will be single by choice because men aren't single by choice.
Men can't believe that women are single by choice because men aren't single by choice.
I'd never even considered that. Like, I think of my single friends, most of them are single by choice. It's not like they're gagging to be in a relationship. They're not desperate to be with someone. Like, they're single by, they're fed up. Like, they are single by choice. They're fed up. They're not interested. They've got other things going on. They're busy. They would prefer to be single. Like, I think it makes sense that if this is true, men aren't single by choice. I think it makes sense because there's statistics to show that a married man will live longer than a single man. However, single women live longer than married women. So there's something to be said about that. If you're a married man, you have a lot to gain. There's a lot for you to gain in a partnership with a woman. In the very early stages, even from a dating app, or even maybe if you're on if you're speed dating and you're going on dates with people, you're very quickly thinking, can you add value to my life? Like, that is what you're thinking as a woman. Whereas as a guy, I wonder whether that's the case. Do you think, can this woman add value to my life? Or is it a case where simply a woman existing in your life adds value? Because sometimes I think about how, as a guy, obtaining a woman and getting a girlfriend almost like adds to your status. Whereas as a woman, having a boyfriend, it doesn't really add to your status like that. If you're a guy that is able to obtain a girlfriend, it's almost, I think from other men see you as like, oh, he can get this girl. Especially if this is an attractive woman or like a desirable woman, it's like, it adds to his status. Whereas as a woman, say you have a boyfriend, it's not a magical, mythical creature. Like, and the article literally talks about the fact that some people just won't post their boyfriend because it's not a flex. It's not a flex anymore. I think because as a woman, it is easier to get into a relationship. If women lowered their standards tomorrow, every single girl could get into a relationship if she wanted to. Emphasis on the lower your standards. However, say tomorrow every single guy on the planet wanted to get into a relationship, I think a lot of them would struggle. I think the reason as to why goes back to like value. Like, again, if every woman tomorrow wanted to be in a relationship, the deadline was tomorrow, get a boyfriend. I just realized how heteronormative this is. I do apologize. This is so heteronormative of a video, but say tomorrow every single girl wanted to get a boyfriend, you would have to lower your standards because it's almost like, I feel like the average woman is just looking for more nowadays. And I truly, hand on heart, don't think that we're being unrealistic in what we're expecting. I think sure, social media can make you think that women are expecting these millionaires who have a yacht in their backyard to just walk into their life and take them off of their feet. But most women aren't expecting that. Most women are just looking for someone that's got a decent job, doesn't gamble and doesn't vape. Whereas the average guy, I think, is a lot more relaxed about what he's looking for. And part of me questions, is the reason why they're relaxed about what they're looking for simply because, well, a woman in your life is inherently valuable. Like, simply having a woman next to you, a woman on your arm, a woman in your life, a woman to show to your friends, a woman to meet your family, like a woman, just period. A woman, full stop, is valuable. Whereas when you're a girl, just having a boy isn't, like, that's not enough. That's not enough. I asked you guys what your thoughts are as well. Kiara said, would love to hear your thoughts on this. Having a low effort boyfriend is embarrassing, but one who actually plans dates and can communicate isn't embarrassing. And I was like, totally agree. Gave that a heart. Then I see a reply from a no-name account with like no profile picture. Can't help you out. Are we back to mind reading? If you feel low effort, write it out without feedback how it gets better. Kiara comes back with, I've been in plenty situations recently where it's always me planning phone calls, dates. I should have said both parties should put in equal effort. How many times have we seen this? I see this weaponized a lot by men. Like, oh, well, if you want something, tell me. If you want me to plan dates, tell me. If you want this, tell me. I'm not a mind reader. You know, women expect this. And I'm just like, do you know what? I feel like if you want to make a woman endlessly happy in a relationship, all you have to do is show in your actions that you are thinking about her. You could send her a text on your way back from work, oh, thinking about you, or this, you know, this flower made me think about you. Or you could get, like, if you were away on holiday with family or something, you could get her a cuddly toy, literally that cost like $2, but oh, this made me think of you. Or you could, you could make a recipe when she comes back from work. Oh, like, you know, I know your favorite thing is like spaghetti bolognese, made this for you. Just, you know, I just wanted to do something for you. Going back to expectations, I think a big reason why more and more of Gen Z is single, more and more millennials are single, is this expectation gap. Women are expecting more of men, like I was saying earlier, because women are more educated now or have stable careers now. They can manage their own finances now. Like, literally, a man isn't needed. However, I don't think men are expecting loads of women. And this was interesting because I came across a guy talking about the fact that men don't need to center women in their lives. Men center themselves.
Why are men in general not working to decenter women in the same way that women are working to decenter men?
It's actually interesting, but the answer is pretty simple. It's because we don't need to. Most of us have never actually centered women in the first place. Even the men, right, who do nothing but chase women, who are bums except for living, dying and breathing for women. They've never centered women a day in their life. They are centering themselves, their lust, their ego, their love of the chase, and the reward of getting the girl. The ego boost and the pride of being a guy who gets girls. But a woman isn't centered. She's either the test on one side or the trophy on the other side. And it's a fact. A lot of men believe if they become a man of value, they'll get the girl they want. So in that sense, the woman becomes the proof of value. She's not the purpose or the goal. She's simply the proof. The girl is a confirmation that you are a real man.
I honestly find this so interesting that as a guy, you don't really need to make women the center of your universe, because it's almost like women are a proxy to you to become more valuable. There's a huge gap of like why men and women seek partners on the whole. Like, women seek partners for companionship, emotional companionship, emotional connection. Whereas I don't think guys, it's the same reason. I'm sure there's a bunch of guys that do, and I'm sure you guys will correct me in the comments, but a lot of guys do seek female partnerships and relationships, I think, for more status and to like be seen a certain way, especially if you go on like the male self-improvement corner of the internet. I almost see so much content talking about how to get a girlfriend but not how to keep a girlfriend. So there's so much content out there about like pickup culture and cold approach and use this pickup line, but I don't see a lot of content on the male side of things where it's like how to have a healthy relationship, how to like emotionally open up, how to have emotional intelligence. It's all like get the girlfriend, win the girl, win her over. And to me, that just shows a vivid difference in why both men and women seek relationships. I want to reiterate, I can't remember if I already said this, but like I don't agree with this gender war of men v women. I think the reason why this article has gone crazy viral is because it honestly hits the spot for so many women that feel frustrated with dating. And I think in 2-3 months time, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an article that comes up on the male side about women and, you know, how women, I don't know, women think they're too good for men. I mean, I see men on the internet, male content creators, they love to throw around this article that came out a while ago, how 45% of women are going to be single by 2030. And, you know, all the podcasters love to throw around the statistic that single women are the most unhappy category compared to married women and married women with kids. Single women are on the bottom when it comes to happiness. And I think the war zone that we see in some comment sections nowadays and the huge disparity in what men think is normal and what women think is normal just shows the divide in what our expectations are of each other. And it almost leads to this greater problem where both sides that are dissatisfied, the women that think that men are embarrassing and the men that think women have too high standards, they both kind of ignore the fact that there are millions and millions of potential suitors that exist in the middle. Like, the reason why I'm not like a bitter woman that's angry and fed up with dating, like I'm just completely okay with being single, I know my time will come, like I'm not in a rush, like it's not that deep, is because I know that like if I exist, they also exist. Like if I am here existing, living, breathing, there will also be a potential suitor, if not many living and breathing as well. However, I think what these articles and viral content does really well is it makes you think that the extremes of the 10% that hate men, or the extremes of the 10% of men that hate women, like that is all men or that is all women, but really it's not. I'd go as far as to say most women probably saw this article and were like, is having a boyfriend embarrassing? No. Are men embarrassing? Some of them. Do I still want a boyfriend? Do I still want a man in my life? Yes. Most women are in the camp of like, sure, men slip up and embarrass the rest of the male population, but I'm going to have hope to find a good one. And I'm going to carry on being single until that happens. One of my all-time favorite books is How to Not Die Alone by Logan Uring. In my video, Meeting the Right Person is a Myth, I was talking about the maximizer mindset, where say you're the person that needs to find a new air fryer and you go online, you look at all the discounts, all the websites, you scroll to page 12 to look at all the results, you want to see everything, versus the satisficer finds an air fryer in their price range. It can come next day and they just buy it. Like, we can complain about men are this, women are this, men are embarrassing, women are expecting too much. You don't change your dating by finding a magical unicorn partner that dismantles all the beliefs you have about the opposite sex. I think you change your dating experience by shifting more towards a satisficer mindset. That is such a mouthful, satisficer mindset. Like, because as much as you can complain, and you know, I've been there with my friends before where we complain about men and we say like, gosh, there's no effort anymore, or like we'll say things like, oh, you know, I was planning the date and I was booking the table and I was asking where we were meeting and I was checking what time and I was checking, like, I know I have been there where I'm complaining before, but I think having the approach where you're expecting a magical partner to rock up on the apps or in real life is not really the approach. I think a better approach is to realize that when I meet a partner that ticks the essential boxes, 70% of my boxes, the important boxes, I have to be satisfied with that. Looking at someone that's 70% and trying to aim for 90% is literally what makes you just miserable. And one thing I will say is this is hard as a woman, because it's almost like we can take a hard look at ourselves in the mirror and be like, I'm not asking for too much though. But Christina, I'm literally not asking for too much. And I know you're probably not. Like, I know you're probably just asking for a guy that has a decent job, drives, doesn't have a room, the state of an absolute dumpster, doesn't play video games till 3 a.m. every day, doesn't do drugs or gamble. Like, I know you're probably asking for the bare minimum. I have a theory. I was talking to my friend about this. I feel like a lot of good men, healthy, emotionally intelligent men in support of women, men in support of women are actually in relationships. I need to reread the book Attached, but the book Attached is all about attachment styles. And in the book, he was saying how a lot of the men on dating apps are avoidantly attached. They're the type that will go on one date with you, probably ghost you afterwards. Even if things are going well, they'll kind of be a bit overwhelmed by how good things are going and they'll self-sabotage and just like ghost. Or they'll be the type that want to be pen pals for like 10 weeks. They want to talk, but not actually meet up. Versus in the book, he was talking about a lot of people that are secure, both men and women, are often in relationships, because the moment they hit a roadblock or have like a hiccup, an argument, they're not just gonna like break up. Like, they will actually work through things. They're willing to actually go through struggle. They're willing to handle uncomfortable emotions. They don't self-sabotage. They're not afraid of having their feelings hurt. Women, I feel like our culture, especially on social media, if you look at TikTok, if you look at Instagram, the culture is very like, get the most out of men, don't settle, you know, you deserve the best, be high value, all of this. And the reason why I don't even talk about that often is because I really don't subscribe to those beliefs. Like, I feel like high value is a bit of an overused term. I don't feel like you're in a good relationship just because you and your partner make loads of money, or because your partner has a fancy job, because he has a fancy car. I think you have a good relationship because of the bond that you guys create together. Like, the fact that you guys don't run away from problems, or the fact that you guys are both emotionally intelligent and can both emotionally open up. The fact that you both put in effort. So what does this mean for men and women? I've got 3 minutes. I need to wrap this up. I think that absolutely everyone on the planet who has 2 eyes and a brain should read the book How to Not Die Alone. Whether you're single or even in a relationship, I'd highly recommend reading it. I am definitely read you a reread. If you're the sort of person that's quite cynical about dating and feels like, gosh, there's no hope for me, I am going to be single forever, like no one matches me, no one's on my level, Read this book. You'll be surprised how like hopeful you are after you read it, because it completely changes the way that you think about dating and like what you should be looking for. I think there would be more, synergy and harmony between men and women online, and less of a gender war if we both applied a bit more nuance to each other. Like, I am so conscious that not all men are embarrassing, and I'm so conscious that not all men want a 5'1" blue hair blonde-eyed woman. I'm very conscious as well, not all women want a 6-foot guy that makes 6 figures. I'm very conscious as well, not all women want a relationship that they can just show off on social media. Stereotyping each other does not help. It just makes us further divisive. Let me know in the comments if you've read How to Not Die Alone, and let me know what you think. Is having a boyfriend embarrassing? This was a very spontaneous, unscripted, unplanned video, but let me know what you guys. This was a very spontaneous, unscripted, unplanned video, but let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. A proper video in my proper setup, not with my laptop that's probably died by now. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.